In this video, I'm going to talk about service and how being in service is one of the greatest ways that you can find more contentment, more meaning, more purpose, more connection with others. In this video, I'm going to talk about service and how being in service is one of the greatest ways that you can find more meaning, more purpose, more connection with others. And these are all things that are some of the things that we're constantly seeking when we're on this healing and transformation path. So one of the things that happens is that when we start to work on ourselves, we turn inward. And that's natural and makes sense that we are looking at ourselves, we're exploring our trauma and our story. And all of that's fine, but what can often happen is that we get so inward focused, so focused on ourselves that we lose connection with others and we start to feel isolated. And often when we're working on something that's really sticky or painful or embarrassing or shameful, we can really feel like we are the only ones in the world who are feeling this way. Like it's just this natural instinct that, this natural inclination to feel like we are alone going through this. The truth is, everyone is going through stuff, and everyone is working on their own trauma and their own healing. One of the greatest gifts of doing the work that we do at Enfold is the chance to meet hundreds of different people from all walks of life, and to realize that no matter how successful or how well put together someone looks on the surface, chances are they've got something going on in their family, or there's something going on for themselves, or they're struggling with addiction, or they're struggling with self-worth, or they don't have confidence, or whatever those things are. But beyond all that, just being in service can be really simple. Ways of giving back can start with holding the door open for somebody, or giving a compliment to somebody, unprovoked, or just smiling at someone on the street. You can help your neighbor with something. You see them, you can bring in their trash cans, or you see them in their yard doing something, ask if you can help for a little bit. Just providing small acts of service immediately makes you feel more connected to others, which is one of the greatest, one of the most universal things that we're all trying to feel is less alone. You can call a friend and ask them how they're doing. You can think about how you can help somebody in your family. So those are, you can also do more involved things like volunteer for charities, or there are volunteer phone lines for people going through psychedelic experiences. So if you're going through your own healing through psychedelic experience, what better way to process and make sense of it than to hear from others and see how you can be a peer support for them. At Enfold, we have a program we call Enfold Angels, and we have lots of folks who have been through retreat who basically volunteer themselves to talk to others. And it's a really beautiful, meaningful way to make connections on a very deep topics, on really meaningful, personal things, and feel connected to your community. And so I think just the most important message here is that when we're going through hard things, it's easy to basically look inward and turn away from the world and forget that actually when we're in service, that's when we feel most connected. And sometimes when you're going through hard things, you can feel like I don't have any energy, or I don't have any capacity to help others. And at certain moments that may be true, but in general, that's a bit of a trap. It's one of the traps of feeling down or feeling depressed, is that, I have so much stuff going on that I couldn't possibly help others. But the truth is, when you actually just extend yourself outwards, it changes everything. It's why in AA programs or 12-step programs, once you go through a certain number of steps, you reach reciprocity. And the thing that you do is you start to give back to people who are on the same path that you've been on. It's one of the greatest ways to find compassion for yourself, because when you find compassion for others who are going through the same thing, you realize that you deserve compassion too. So there's so many gifts in service and in reciprocity. So I just encourage you to consider, how can you give back? How can you connect with those around you and be in service?